Journey of Diagnosis.
Hello and welcome to my blog Papa Stig. Early on this week we received some fantastic news regarding my oldest son when we visited Gloucester House. But before I tell you about that, I want to take you back in time, 6 years when we adopted the boys. For any adopters, when you adopt children, it's very hard to understand exactly what they have gone through in the early years and also how that is going to affect them later on in life. And the same was for us. It was very hard to read between the lines in the reports we were reading. So we were quite prepared that it was going to be a very challenging time when all three of them moved in on the same day into our house. But what was quite apparent quite quickly was that, especially our oldest son, it was the smallest trigger was escalating into some very, very violent behavior. It was almost like he become a vile child, and he was becoming quite violent, and normally for his own safety, but also for his siblings' safety, we had to restrain him. And those kind of situations were very difficult and could go on for up to 4 hours. So it was exhausting for everyone in the house. He also had very much so a loss of anxiety. And especially this was coming out in the nighttime as well. So bedtime routine was really hard. He normally wet himself through every single night. Regarding wetting, we also had that through daytime as well, and also some soiling. But things were maybe escalating when things were going really bad at school and he was starting to be excluded, and the anxiety, normally he was licking around his mouth so much that it was just a red raw all around. And that's when sort of things were getting even more difficult at school, and we had to start the process of getting a statement. And through that process, we, for the first time, got sort of some diagnoses for our oldest son, and quite quickly he was diagnosed with ADHD, severe attachment disorder, behaviour issues and anxiety. Soon after that, for about 3 years ago, he started a specialist school, Gloucester House. And already quite quickly into when he started, we can see that the anxiety went down. He was also starting then intensive psychotherapy, which was also helping him. But we also continued the very strict boundaries and structure at home, which also was going to be very helpful for him, especially because of the severe attachment disorder. But as a parent, you almost are coming into a desperate situation where you're trying to find answers to everything. And it was my mom who said to us that, have you thought about Asperger? Because she had some friends with children with Asperger, and she could also see exactly those symptoms in our son. And we read up on the internet, and it was exactly the kind of behavior we saw. And we took it up with Gloucester House when we had one of our frequent meetings. And that was maybe the first time I actually understood in depth what was actually attachment disorder. Because they explained us that a child with attachment disorder will have very similar symptoms with a child with ADHD and also Asperger. And that was maybe the first time I really understood how severe attachment disorder could be. Early on this week, we attended then the meeting with the professionals at Gloucester House. And it was a very positive meeting because we got some very, very good positive feedback, and felt that what we are doing at home with strict boundaries and structure and all the love we give to our children have really helped him with the attachment disorder. They feel that he doesn't have any more anxiety, which we also feel. The ADHD will maybe more down to attachment disorder back in time. But they now feel that he really have progressed so well that they want to give him a different diagnosis, which is maybe not as severe as attachment disorder because we have progressed so well. So you maybe have listened to some of my other blogs, and one of the biggest challenges we have at the moment is more following adult instructions and following rules. And that was what they actually pointed out as well in the meeting this week. And they feel he has something called oppositional defiant disorder, ODD. I hadn't heard about it before, so we had to look it up also when we were coming home, and in one way it's spot on, because a child with ODD will very often argue frequently with adults. They will lose temper very easily, refuse to follow rules, blame others for their mistakes, and deliberately annoy others, and behave in a very angry, resentful way. So we felt that that was absolutely the right disorder for our oldest son. But the very, very positive news here is that we have progressed so well.